Let me get some sound here from Paul Finebaum. He is touting, and this is a really fun thing to do at the beginning of July, because I remember many years ago, Beano Cook, he predicted, was it Ron Powlus or Brady Quinn would win 2 Heisman trophies. He predicted one of those players would win 2 Heisman trophies. They obviously did not. But here is Paul Finebaum saying of Arch Manning, Peyton Manning, and what are you laughing about?
I love this clip, but go ahead. You
okay,
need to play it first.
Yes. This is the nephew of This is the nephew of Peyton Manning and Eli Manning. Here is Arch Manning, who's the quarterback at the University of Texas. This is what Paul Finebaum has to say.
They're very capable of doing it again this year. I believe also that Arch Manning is the best college football quarterback we have seen since Tim Tebow entered the scene in 2006.
We haven't seen him, though. And look, like, no disrespect, all right, because college football experts, everybody knows, Paul Finebaum, Heather Dinich, and me. I do college football tailgate for ESPN Radio, so everybody knows I'm college football expert.
Guy turned down being a lawyer for robots. So you think he knows anything about anything?
They don't deal with real money. Don't even get me started. It's funny because the best we've ever seen, he appeared in like 3 games last year. I mean, UT San Antonio, Mississippi State, the worst team in the SEC. Steve Sarkisian decided Quinn Ewers is a better option for us to win football games. But Arch Manning is one of the best. It might be the best college quarterback we've ever seen. What is he going to do against Ohio State? August 30th. Better go out there slinging it against Ohio State. We're already talking about Arch Manning is the greatest thing ever. Tank for Arch. Can we see him play a little bit of college football first? It's crazy.
Gotta have a better slogan than that. Tank for Arch. We got to come up with something better than
March
that.
for Arch.
Something. Spitballing.
We've hardly seen him play. We don't even know if he's any good at the collegiate level.
Be starch for Arch.
I tuned into to Finebaum yesterday because I was driving around, and I when you get a car, you usually get like a trial for like satellite radio, so you get anything that's broadcast anywhere. So I'm trying to use it. I've never used it before, but I decided, you know what, I can listen to Finebaum, and I did it a couple weeks ago, so I was trying to listen to Finebaum yesterday. Fill in this week. I don't think there's any show, and I don't want to be rude. It was not PB. I don't want to be rude.
PB the GOAT.
I don't remember who it was, but I've never felt as disappointed tuning into a show than tuning into Finebaum to not get Finebaum. It just wasn't the same. And the guy's like, coming up, we're going to take callers. I'm like, no, you're not.
Finebaum once threatened to call the Attorney General on me.
Really?
On his show.
It's a flex.
He threatened me to call Jeff Sessions, the Attorney General, and have me thrown in prison.
What'd you say? What was your take?
True story.
What was the take?
Okay, so this is like 10 years ago. He didn't know who the hell I am, except he wants to throw me in prison. And
you tell me you were playing in an infield celebrity softball game? You threw out Derek Lee 10 years ago?
This was before my star turn throwing out. I threw his ass out. That was a hot shot, threw his ass out. And we used to have a caller on our show. Me and Joy Taylor, we did mornings at $7.90 a ticket, and we had like a prank caller who used to call other national radio shows, and he would throw my name in there, like he would work in my name. Big hitting prospect, Zaslow. What do you think about calling him up? You know, he would get these guys all the time, and he kept getting through on Finebaum's show. And at one point, now we didn't condone nor condemn the caller. Okay, we had nothing to do with it. It was not part of my show. We didn't condone nor condemn. And Finebaum got so mad after a number of times this guy got through. He was yelling at his producer on the air. He was yelling about me. I'm gonna call my friend Attorney General Jeff Sessions. Gonna have this Zaslow thrown in a gulag. That's what he said. He was going to throw me in a gulag.
Gulag is a great word. Put it on the poll at LeBatard Show. Is gulag the funniest word for prison? How do you feel about fanning for Manning, where you're both fanning for him because you're a fan, but you're also swinging and missing? Panning for Manning? Because Arch is going to be harder. Arch, starch for Arch, March for Arch. It's parch for Arch. Parch, you're thirsty.
So you're just gonna stop drinking so you can have Archie Manning. I'm parched for Arch.
Yeah, you're gonna stop winning. You're gonna stop the delicious drink and flavor taste of winning.
Just living with cotton mouth because you want Archie Manning.
You're gonna parch for Arch. It's not great, admittedly, but it needs to rhyme. We're in agreement. Your alliteration's not enough, right? It's not enough to have an A, ass for arch. Like you need
it's the ch at the end.
You need so then you got to go Manning, right? And Fanning and Panning are your only two choices.
Planning for Manning.
Planning for Manning.
You like that? All right, so put it on the poll at LeBatard
I think Panning's
Show.
the best.
What about tanning for Manning?
tanking a tanking team. Put it on the poll at LeBatard Show. A tanking team's best slogan: fanning for Manning, panning for Manning.
Being starch
Tanning
for
for
arch.
Manning.
Starch for arch.
Tanning
Yeah,
for
you're just getting
Manning.
skin cancer because you want Archie Manning.
Planning.
Darkest fan base.
Planning for Manning. Okay, we're in agreement that Manning is going to make this easier than Arch. We're going to quit on Arch, right?
No, I'm parched for Arch.
So you're mad at Finebaum for saying that Arch Manning is the best freshman quarterback that I have seen. Freshman quarterback is Jameis Winston. That's the best I've seen in college football. Obviously, Tim Tebow is sort of the symbol for great college quarterback, right? I put Ken Dorsey in there as well, Danny Werfel, just a quarterback who you knew would be good in college but might not necessarily be much of a pro. That's not what they're saying about Arch Manning. Arch Manning, at this point, everyone's in agreement, correct, that Arch Manning will be an NFL quarterback.
I don't even know if he's good in college. Play an SEC team, not Mississippi State.
It doesn't matter if he's good in college or not. He's going to be a professional football
He's going to be the #1 overall pick, even if he's not good in college.
I feel like it has to matter.
Wait a minute. I'm pretty sure that we could go look up Tim Boyle's numbers, and he has never had good numbers at any level of play, even high school, and yet he has started NFL games. I don't believe outside of injury that there is any sort of chance that Arch Manning will not throw a game as a starter in the NFL.
Nathan Peterman was in the NFL, for God's sake.
In 3 years at UConn, it was 1 touchdown and 13 interceptions for one Tim Boyle.
Matt Castle never started at USC, so I guess it is possible.
Right, but those guys weren't projected #1 overall pick. Makes a little bit of a difference, right?
Well, if you had to bet and be right, though, Arch Manning will throw an NFL pass as an NFL starting quarterback. Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
So there's your answer on why it is people are doing this, even though we haven't seen him play much. Like I saw Texas struggling a little bit, trying to move the ball, and then they put in Arch Manning when their season ended, and Arch Manning made for Ewers coming right back into the game because they shouldn't have done that. He wasn't ready. He couldn't beat out what is a 6th-round pick who is now a backup quarterback for the Miami
It was
Dolphins.
an injured Quinn Ewers coming back, too. I think it was in the Red River rivalry, and they tried Manning at the end of the first half. He didn't do anything either. I got news for you. Oklahoma sucked last year.
Not at defense, they didn't, but they were generally bad. Didn't they play him a little bit in the eliminator against Ohio State? Didn't Arch Manning come into the game in the championship
I don't think he threw any
game?
passes.
The expectation on this human being, though, because he has that name on the back of his uniform, is impossibly high. It is unbelievably weird to have a situation with a quarterback you have seen play sparingly, identified by Paul Finebaum as the best quarterback since Tim Tebow.
It's definitely never happened before, right? That a quarterback is projected to go #1 overall we really haven't seen yet. That's never happened, has it?
Projected #1 overall coming into college and can't get on the field his first couple of seasons because the starter there is established. And I would say that Quinn Ewers was one of the name quarterbacks in the sport last year, top 5 names of who you'd want quarterbacking your team, and he couldn't beat him out.
I mean, I don't know about that, but we're also saying he couldn't get on the field, but that's because of where he chose to go. He could have gone to any school and been the starter had he wanted to.
FAU probably would have started.
He chose to go there knowing he probably wasn't going to start. Like, it was a decision that they consciously made.
Right, but Sarkisian decided that Quinn Ewers was the better option.
That's correct.
Like, he's trying to win a national championship, Sarkisian.
That's right.
And he decided Quinn Ewers.
He had a team that was points away from being as good as Ohio State last year, and he started the other guy.